G'day guys, welcome back to Supercoach with DR and welcome to the Round 12 review. It was the first of our bye rounds for 2022. Some of us struggled a little bit, others absolutely excelled. For me, look, it was a little bit of a mini train wreck this week because that score of 1892 was originally projected to be well over 2,000, but unfortunately I had a few really underperforming primos and I ended up altering my trade plans, and I think it's been about the third or fourth time this year where I've changed my plans last minute and I've really paid for it. But hopefully moving forward, yeah, these trades will pay off. But yeah, this week really underperformed. I'll get to my trades in a little bit, but look, before I get into it, I need to give a couple of congratulations. Firstly to my man Spills, first time in his career that he's been inside the top 1%, so congratulations brother, really proud of you mate. Just keep on moving forward, mate. Bang into that top 1,000, mate. And secondly, to George the Goat, almost, I think he might actually be, or if he's not there yet, very close to 5k subs. And I tell you what, mate, you are the GOAT, very well deserved. Hope you're on the road to 6, up to 10k one day, mate, because absolutely love your stuff. It's the first stuff I watch every week, so keep going, mate. Really good stuff, George. Apart from the congratulations, look back to my team. A season rank of 44.23. That's in the top 3%, so I'm struggling a little bit at the moment. And I tell you what, if I'd have gone through with my original trades, which was simply 2 trades, bringing in Gawn and bringing in Butler, then I would be pretty close to the top 1% here. I would be really close. I ended up making the 3 trades this week. Oh, and I got burnt by it. I'll tell you what. But look, we'll leave it there. We'll see how the side's actually looking, and then I'll go through some of my trades for the next couple of weeks. All right, so I better start off by talking about these trades. So originally, it was going to be really simple. You know, probably take Carroll out of the side and get Butler in and give me the cash to go up from Bruce to Gawn. 2 pretty simple trades. If I'd have brought Gawn in this week, we all know what he scored. Close to a double ton. Unfortunately, I brought a different ruckman in. The other thing you'll notice in the back line is the fact that there is no Dacos. Now, would you believe this? As a veteran of the game, as someone who's been a massive advocate of keeping Dacos, and this is when I wanted to get rid of him 2-3 weeks ago. He's great cover for the buys. And what do I go around and do last minute? Give him the boot. Would you believe that? There was a little bit of method to it, which I'll talk about in a sec. But the other 2 trades. Now, I did make 3. So, Dacos out, and this bloke in, Dirksen. There is method to that madness. I'll talk about that in a sec. But first of all, how's that Dacos for a non-playing player? We then look into this ruck line and into the forward line. We'll go straight there. There's no Max Gawn, but there is Shrek Darcy. And I finally lost the faith in Heaney. Decided to bring in who I thought was an absolute must-have, coming off a 160 last week. He went half of that. Slim Timmy English. Oh, absolutely devastated I was. So at the end of the day, the 3 trades were out Dacos, out Bruce, out Heaney, in Dirksen. Again, I'll talk about in a minute. In English and in Darcy. Now, the form that these 2 blokes have been in. English, you know, well, look, he's only come back for the 1 week, but the way he played on the weekend was the way that I expected him to play last week. You know, he just didn't look himself. And with Darcy, it was just meek. It was his tog. It was so hard watching this, particularly after seeing Maxi absolutely dominate. But why did I go Darcy at the end of the day? I went Darcy because of his ceiling. And I really do like his draw in the next 2 weeks. Now, I didn't love the matchup against a Big Owen Fort. They're always a pretty tough duo to come up against. But the next couple of weeks playing Hawthorn and Carlton last year, and I know it's a different year, and these blokes are, you know, close to top of the ladder. He did absolutely dominate Darcy. So, due to his ceiling, I thought, no, I'll pay up for Darcy. And the other big reason was the fact that he's very much a pod. He was in 4% of sides when I traded him in. So I thought, given the fact I'm around the top 3%, I do need to go for someone a little bit different. Half the competition's got Gawn, so I need to go with possibly a Darcy. And when half the competition's got Gawn and he almost scores a double 100, I get Darcy with a score of 59, then that's how many points that I was expecting Darcy maybe to go ahead of Gawn for the whole season, maybe not even that. So that really, really hurts in the 1 week. But I'm hoping that Darcy can really turn things around the next couple anyway. You look at English, I lose 10 points there over Heaney. So there's 10 there, 60. So let's just call that rounded 140. And then we've got, obviously, De Koning here in place of Dacos. And Dacos went, what, a 110, didn't he? So there's another 35 points just there. So just a real train wreck in regards to my trades. But, yeah, if I had have just gone the Butler-Gawn combination, then I'd be absolutely sitting pretty. But look, it is what it is, you know. My decisions, can't complain too much. But look, we've got 12 trades left. I only need to upgrade 1 spot, which is really, really good. So I'll talk about what I'm going to do in a minute. Look, I'll quickly go through these blokes. So you got Sicily up the top, 98. First time in a long time that he went under triple figures. I know some people actually selected him as a bit of a pod captain this week. Didn't work out, but in saying that, their other option, because they were looking for one of those later games, was Lockie Neal. So you would have rather gone Sicily than Neal, unfortunately, this week. But he will bounce back. I think he had around 10 clangers, which is always going to really affect his score. Georgie didn't play. Crispy, right on the ton, so just under the ton. I think it was a 97 last week. Had a bit of a quiet last quarter, but triple figures, all good. Shorty didn't play. Paddy McCartan, a 95. I absolutely love this bloke, and I'm going to keep him for the season. I'll talk about Dirksen in a little bit. De Koning, again, look, I'm going to have to flip him this week, but he's been super for us this season. I certainly didn't peg him to have the season that he did. I thought he'd be a really slow burn, maybe a 40 type average, but he has really exceeded all of our expectations. An average of basically 66 at the moment, and a really, really good shot at the Rising Star this year. I don't know what my order is at the moment, but he's certainly worth the shout. Terrific player, De Koning. I was a little bit worried during the game when he copped that knock, but really took responsibility for that back line, particularly when Stewart went down. And sorry for Stewart owners, extremely unfortunate. But look, on the bright side, if it's ever going to happen during a week, it was probably, you wanted it to happen last week. He's going to have the bye anyway. So imagine if it had to happen just after the bye. You know, that would have been more of a disaster, I think. But still really, really unfortunate for Stewart owners. Doherty didn't play. And this brings me to my man Dirksen. So look, he's a defensive forward DPP. As I mentioned before, I'm going to keep on Paddy McCartan for the season. So my original plan this week, and I don't know if I'm actually going to go through with it this week, but if it's not this week, it'll be the next, is to trade someone like a Rosas. I'll swing Dirksen up in the forward line, and that means that McCartan will be an emergency for my backs and for my forwards for the whole year, and I think that's a pretty good strategy to go with. So that's been my plan for the last couple of weeks. So I was going to bring him in regardless, and last week, yeah, in order to make the trades that I wanted to, I had to end up making a third trade, and I thought I'll just bring this bloke in. So yeah, that will work out long term for me, I think. But we'll get into the midfield. Now, this is a bit of a mixed bag, isn't it? You got Clary, so lovely 134, fantastic. I was thinking about having him in my loop this week, but didn't end up going with him in the end. Really Ruck with who I went with. Neil, 87, just a pretty quiet game from him. The first time I think he's gone under 100, so we can forgive him. I think the Lions as a whole, you know, we've been on the road 3 of the last 4 weeks, and I've copped a little bit for this. It was off a Saints bloke on Twitter. You know, you're giving excuses, this, that, you know. But yeah, I genuinely think that it has taken it out of us a little bit. I'm not making all these excuses for why we lost. Freo deserved to win, without a doubt. But yeah, I think that once we have the bye, we're at home, I think 3 out of the next 4 weeks. Nearly will have a little bit of a rest. I think he'll be much better for that. McRae, 107. Well, it's been a little bit better compared to a couple of scores that we've seen recently from him, but certainly not captaincy material. Hopefully he can have a week off and try to recapture some sort of form. This man, I end up having faith in him. My favourite player in the comp, you know this, took the trade, Mark Miller. Finally, DR nails a captain. Now, I forgot to mention that as well. If you're on Twitter, make sure that you follow AFL Doodles. I'm actually going to include a couple of his drawings in my stock market video this week. He did a really funny one of me on the weekend. It was about DR nailing a captain. So I will share that in the stock market video. Make sure you give him a follow. Yeah, some really cool stuff. Really unique and interesting as well. But back to Miller. Look, this man was an absolute beast. There was a little bit of concern. There was a photo of him. I don't know if it was on his Insta or what social media platform that it was, but he had a bit of strapping around his calf. Some people said, oh, we can't select him now. There was photos of him walking around at training by himself as well. Other people said, oh, he's just got a new tat, he's covering it. Other people said, we don't cover it like that. I didn't know what on earth was going on, but I did have faith in the man coming up against North Melbourne. It was his 150th, a bit of a milestone game. And yeah, he certainly delivered in spades. So I think this is my second best captaincy score for the year. My best was Neil against Essendon. I remember that I was at the game with Spills and Brenton Doyle and all the boys there, Big J as well. But yeah, it's so good to finally nail one of these scores. So thank you very much, Tukey. 167, absolutely brilliant. Brayshaw played out of his skin, I thought. 113. Look, he didn't use the ball overly well at times, but I thought he deserved a little bit more than that. Tackled well, got a heap of the peel, and he's just such a great combination with Brodie. So 113, I'll take every day of the week from Brayshaw at the moment, but yeah, I thought it was a 125 game, but owner's bias most likely there. Track, wow, 70, so second poor score in a row. What excuse can we give him this week? You know, look, I suppose I came back from the flu, and it's taken me, 2.5 weeks to sort of recover. I'm not even fully there yet. I'm pretty close, though. So, look, was it the flu? Was it gastro? I'm not too sure with Track, but look, either way, yeah, maybe still feeling the effects of that, but yeah, if he's out in the field, he's deemed fit to play, so he should be giving us triple figures at a minimum. Hopefully he can bounce back again. Yeah, maybe he just needs to play this week, get through, get to the bye, refresh, regenerate, and then come out hard after that. Robin McCone, 43, which was disappointing. Wanted him to make a little bit more cash me this week because I'm going to trade him out. Clark, 54. Look, he's a bloke that I'm going to keep in my midfield for cover for the rest of the season because I like his job security. I think he's got a good ceiling, but it's all about the role that he plays. Probably a little bit too outside at the moment for my liking. And look, if he does play the right role, if he's given enough time inside the midfield, then he can go 75 plus every day of the week, but it's all about opportunity there. Still going to keep on to him. 3 blokes on the bench didn't play. Carroll, don't think he'll even play this week. So when you are counting up your on-field players, be very, very careful relying on Carroll, particularly if you've got 18 with Carroll, for example. I'd be actually counting that as 17. Same as maybe Aware. Not sure if he comes up this week, but we'll have to see what happens with the team sheets. Hard to know at the moment. And then we'll go to the rucks and the forward line. So Witsy, 117, very, very serviceable. That's all good. We already talked about Shrek, 59. And if you ask why I'm calling him Shrek, it's for my man Eno. That Eno's come up with the name, and I'm just rolling with it. So Shrek is obviously Shawnee Darcy there, but under 60. Come on, big fella. He was a donkey this week. Hazy didn't play. All good comes back this week. English, man, I tell you, I've already sort of talked about him. Look, I still think he's a must-have. I've still got him pegged as the F1, but it was just a poor week from him. He can cover now. Well, he can't cover for me at the moment, but when I do get rid of Hayes for a loop, he'll be fantastic cover there, particularly with someone like Darcy, who doesn't have great durability. Dunkley, again, a 66. After the form that he's been in, you just didn't see this coming. Brodie, a 125. I love this man. 107. I've changed my mind now. Originally, I said that Georgie Hewitt has been the best recruiter of the year. It's got to be Will Brodie now. It's got to be this man. As good as Georgie Hewitt's been, this bloke has been absolutely outstanding. And I'd say probably leading their midfield. I know that Brayshaw's polled really well on the coaches' votes. I'm not sure how Brodie's polled, or if at all. I'm not too sure how the coaches rated. But me personally, looking at his game, the work that he does inside, his clearance work, we already always talk about his good hands. He's just a phenomenal player. I don't know what happened up there at Gold Coast. He's been given opportunity now, possibly through injury at the start of the year, but his good pre-season form has really got him his spot or his opportunity, and he just hasn't looked backwards. So he deserves everything he gets, this young man. 573k for Will Brodie. If anyone saw a world where they saw this happening pre-season, you're lying, I'd say. Parker, 97. Yeah, again, not great, not triple figures. That's what Crispy gave us last week. So, again, this is okay. That's more his... I won't say his floor. His floor is lower than that, but yeah, I'll live with that. Rosas, absolutely fantastic. The thing with Rosas, he had an impact for the large majority of the game. You know, he's certainly a moments man, but from start to finish, he looked pretty sublime, to be quite honest. 83 points. I was expecting maybe a 40. You know, he's one of the blokes where you think, is his score even going to count this week? I'm not too sure. But it was just great. Everything that he did turned to gold. You know, impacted the scoreboard, kicked his couple of goals, and so many assists as well. And a couple of those entries inside the forward 50 were just elite. You know, a couple he kicked, you know, almost around his body with that left foot, hit the target on the chest. Just a superb game from him. I was originally going to trade him out this week, but given the fact his break-even is about, well, I think it'd be under 5 this week anyway, I think I'm going to hold on to him. And given the look, I'll talk about my trades in a little bit. McDonald, again, I've kept this bloke, kept him because the buys didn't end up needing his score this week. Hopefully he can pump out a 60 or something for us, or at least be of some use to us this week. And Butters and Rioli obviously didn't play. So that's the team. We'll quickly get our team on for this week. And then we'll talk about the trades. So Clark comes off. This is a dodgy buy for a lot of coaches this round. And this is why I've avoided getting in some of those dogs as well. Is my internet even working here? Jeez, I tell you what, we're slow here at the moment. Look, I'll chuck Carroll on there at the moment, but again, I'm not really going to count him. Alright, so Witsy comes off. Be sad to see him not playing. He's just been ultra reliable for me this year. And then this is where lots of people get hurt. It's with all these dogs players. Lucky I haven't got Baz and Bont and Libber, and Heaney was a straight buy swap for English as well. So that was part of my thought process there. Alright, so at this stage, 1, 2 down here. All good in the rucks. I'm looking possibly 2 down here, which isn't great. And then I'm 1 down here. So at this stage, I'm only running with 17 at the moment. Definitely need to make a couple of trades. We'll see what happens with Carroll. So at a minimum, what I'm looking to do is I'm going to bring DeConing out. DeConing, you know who I mean. So he's just got to come out. Been so serviceable, but I've decided to keep on to Paddy McCartan for the year over him. So what we're going to do is we'll bring Sinclair down back. So I've actually got my premium defensive line all playing this week, which is fantastic for me. Now, it all depends on if he actually plays. Surely he can't get dropped. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if he is dropped, but I'd be pretty spewing for the young man if he did. So going Owens there, I think that's going to be a popular trade for lots of teams this week. And the other pretty obvious one is to get rid of Robin McComb. And I've got 600k there. Originally, I was going to go for a Walsh or a Parrish type, and I still may. In order to do that, I will need to make another trade. I'd always planned on making this another trade, but I'm not sure. We'll see if I do. I doubt it, though. What I'm going to do is get in this man. I think Zach Merritt. I'll just complete them. So, obviously bringing in 2 playing players if Owens plays. We know that Merritt's obviously going to play. So that gives me 18 at a minimum there, which is nice. So with Sinclair back there now, I've got 6 there. Oh, jeez, sorry. Internet's playing up as well. Right, I've got Miller in there. So Miller will have to come out. Zerek goes there. I tell you, I apologise for this. It's been terrible at the moment. On all the Facebook community, I don't do Facebook, but Lisa does, my wife. And on all the community pages, they're complaining about how the internet's running so slow. All right, so yes. If Carroll plays, I'm full there, but yeah, we'll see what happens. And then I'm 2 down here. The other trade I was looking to do, and I probably won't, given the fact that... Now, look, what I'm thinking at the moment in regards to my upgrades, I was going to make my final upgrade next week, which is this spot here. So my F6 spot. I was always looking at Baz. Unfortunately, he's done himself a silly. Oh, we don't need to go into it. We all know what happened with the headbutt there. But I think he's out of my calculations now. Bont, I'm not a huge fan of, simply due to his shoulder issue. Now, is it a matter of just having a week's rest, then coming back a lot fresher? I'm not too sure, but I've heard that he's been having weekly injections into the shoulder and also the ankle. I'm not sure how accurate that is, if it's just a rumour mill or not. But I'm not too keen on trading in an injured player. Heaney, I've just traded out, not wrapped with him, so possibly I'll look at someone like a Libba. I'm not too sure, but the reason why I may not look to finalise my side next week is to get another look at these guys. We know that Roses with his low break-even is definitely going to make some more coin, so I don't have to jump the gun. I may not. But the other trade, if I do this, and this is where the method to the madness comes in with trading in Dirksen as a non-playing player last week, was that he can now go forward. So the idea with that is the fact that now, by having Dirksen up forward, who will obviously be in the bench, McCartan now becomes a swing for my defence and my forward line. And given the fact that I don't know if I'm going to make an upgrade next week, I might just prepare for my upgrade by bringing in a rookie. I think that I'll just play McCartan on field. So that will work out. I'll get to play McCartan over Rioli or a McDonald or whoever else is there, whatever dodgy rookie I've got. So that's why I bought him in last week, and that's my plan for the season. With Roses, probably what I would do, and this is probably why I'm not going to do it this week, because I don't have to go early if I've got at least 18, preferably 19 playing. But it would probably be Durden, I'd say, from Carlton. So that would be the most obvious move if I do go this week. And it gives me 215k. So with the 215, what I'd look to do the next week is trade out. Now, I don't love doing this, but originally I was just going to get rid of Hayes. But given the fact that I've got Darcy now, I may not go through with the trade. But all I need basically is Hayes and McDonald out. So you look at a loop there, that'll give you about 200k. That should give me, what, close to 400. Yep, over 400 in the bank there. And then I've got 615k, basically, if McDonald goes around the 200 mark. So I can do that the week after next. So probably around 15. I can easily afford a Libba. Baz I can't get. Basically, yeah, I'll be able to afford anyone. I'm not quite sure on the numbers with Bont. But again, I'd probably rather just wait a week and see how he actually travels. So that's pretty much the plan. So the finished team, I'll obviously go. So I'll just go back to that in a sec, just so you can check out how that looks. So the midfield's now complete. The back line's complete. So I'll quickly go up here. So it looks like I'll be finishing with Sicily, Hewitt, Sinclair, Crisp, Short and Doherty. The only probably major omission for me there is Tommy Stewart. You could argue maybe a Dawson would be nicer as well, but overall I'm pretty happy with that defence there, but it is going to be really tough not owning Stewart. The midfield, so Oliver, Neal, McRae, Miller, Cripps, Brayshaw, Petrarca, Merritt. So, you know, my my M5 to 8 I'm not wrapped with, but by only probably needing 2 more trades, I'll have 7 trades in the bank with a completed side. I could go down to 5 and upgrade one of these fellas to someone like a Mills or a Laird, a Parrish, a Walsh. It's actually pretty scary when I actually start to name some of the other players that I'm actually omitting here. But at the same time, these players in their own right, Cripper, Brayshaw, Track and Merritt, can all score well on their good day. And I do expect them to be, you know, around the top 12 in a minimum anyway. So I'm leaking a few points there, which isn't great. The Rucks, they're going to be Darcy and Darcy and Witts. Well, I had the choice of Gawn. I decided Darcy. It is what it is, you know. One week can probably make that a bad decision, which was last week, so it probably is. But moving forward, I'm still happy I've got Darcy. The next couple of weeks, he comes up against the Hawks. And when I say a couple of weeks, I'll have the bye. But next 2 opponents are Hawthorn and Carlton. Don't know which order it is, but he scored massive on him. He absolutely scored massive on him. So he'll be in my loop this week. And then the forward line. So Dirksen gets off the field. Who do I... after McDonald's performance last, I'm going to leave the young man Rioli there. So we've got English, Brody, Dunkley, Parker, Butters, and then it's going to be whoever the next best forward is. I don't know who that's going to be, but yeah, who are the must-haves here? Well, I think English and Dunkley probably are. Parker, I've got in my top 6. Brody, I've also got in my top 6. Butters is just outside of that. Really, obviously nowhere near it. So, yeah, one of the Dogs boys, Baz, probably not. Bont, Lipper are probably the three that I'm looking at there, I think. So, not a whole lot to do to finish the side. It's just a matter of when I want to choose to do it. Again, I think that I'll probably not go through with the Roses trade for this week. Given the fact that I'm not upgrading next week, I don't feel that I really need to do it. I can get another look at Durden. If he plays terribly, gets injured, whatever, then, that's okay. I just won't go with him. So I'll update this trade or just get rid of it, I think, at the end of the day. So do that. Can I even do that? Stop trading him in. Cancel. No, I can't anyway. But look, guys, I'll leave it there for now. That's my plans for the next couple of weeks. Let me know how you're going. And one more thing I forgot to mention now. It's NBA season at the moment. It is NBA season. What I've traditionally done, apart from, old school days where I love Jordan, followed the Bulls, I think everyone did back then, or maybe the Magic with Penny Hardaway, Shaq, few of the Suns, Charles Barkley's fans, and maybe the Hornets with Alonzo Mourning, LJ. For the younger audience, you may not even know who I'm talking about here, but for those born in the 80s and 90s, you know exactly who I'm talking about there. But anyway, I don't currently have an NBA side, so if you've got an NBA side that you follow, try to sell me the team. Leave it down there in the comments section, because I need a team to go for. I haven't got one at the moment, and happy to jump on board anyone, absolutely anyone. I want to stop following players and actually, go with an actual side. So let me know who you support, and I'm happy to jump on board. But not here to talk NBA. That's it for this week, guys. The Stocky is obviously going to be out, hopefully Wednesday night. We'll go through some of the players that didn't play last week that we're looking to trade in this week. Obviously talk about some of the performances from last week, and I'll give you, do you even listen to me on who to bring in this week with the way I've been going? I'm not too sure, but I'll give you my best advice that I can anyway. So all the best, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye.